I had studied war for most of my life. As a strategic observer for the Interstellar Concord, my role was simple: watch conflicts, record outcomes, and ensure that no species violated the laws of engagement. I had witnessed orbital bombardments, planetary sieges, and the quiet extinction of civilizations that failed to adapt. I thought I understood war. Then I saw humans go to war, and I finally understood why the stars fear them. Before humanity, most species approach war the same way they approach everything else: cautiously, efficiently, and with a clear end state in mind. Wars are calculated. Casualties are projected. Resources are rationed. Morale is monitored like fuel. When losses exceed acceptable thresholds, withdrawal is considered logical, even honorable. This is how the galaxy survives itself. Then humanity joined the stars. What the galaxy thought of humans. Humans came from a death world, high gravity, unstable climate, predatory ecosystems, and a history saturated with internal conflict. They were emotionally expressive, socially complex, and disturbingly creative. The consensus was clear. Humans were dangerous, but manageable. They would burn brightly, burn fast, and eventually exhaust themselves like so many before them. The galaxy believed humanity's greatest weakness was their emotion. The galaxy was wrong. The war that changed my perspective. The conflict began in the Seraph Expanse, when the Vorthak Continuum launched a sudden expansion campaign. The Vorthak were cold, methodical, and technologically superior. Entire systems fell without resistance. The Concord deployed a coalition force. Humans were included, assigned auxiliary roles. Observers like myself were told not to worry. Humans will break quickly, one commander said. They always burn themselves out. I recorded his words. I would remember them later. First contact with human warfare. The first battle was catastrophic. Vorthak fleet shredded coalition lines with precision fire. Casualties mounted rapidly. Several species initiated retreat protocols within minutes. Human ships did not. They absorbed damage that would have broken other fleets. They rerouted power manually. Crews worked in conditions that should have rendered them unconscious or dead. Most disturbingly, they advanced. I watched human vessels push into fire corridors marked non-survivable. I assumed it was panic. It wasn't. Humans don't fight to win. This was the first truth I learned. Humans do not fight to win battles. They fight to deny defeat. Where other species disengage to preserve strength, humans stay to buy time. Where others protect command assets, humans decentralize authority so nothing critical can be destroyed. When their leaders fall, others simply step forward. Human combat has no center, only direction. The ground war, the real revelation, came planetside. Vorthak shock units landed on Kepri 9, overwhelming planetary defenses. Coalition ground forces collapsed within hours. Human infantry arrived last. They were outnumbered, outgunned, surrounded. They dug in anyway. I observed human soldiers sharing oxygen, redistributing ammunition without orders, and dragging wounded allies into cover under fire. They did not wait for evacuation. They built fortification from wreckage and bodies. They sang. That unsettled me more than the violence. The moment I felt fear. The Vorthak adapted quickly. They always did. They shifted tactics, countered human weapons, and isolated pockets of resistance. One human battalion was cut off completely, no supply lines, no reinforcement. Coalition command marked them as lost, then intercepted a human transmission. "We're still here," the voice said. "Tell command we'll hold." They held for 3 days, not because it was strategic, but because retreat would mean others would die. This was when I understood something vital. Humans treat war as a moral act, not just a strategic one. Why the stars dread them. Human warfare is terrifying because it breaks assumptions. They accept losses that would cripple other species. They adapt faster than predictive models can update. They view sacrifice not as failure, but as contribution. Most species fight until survival is threatened. Humans fight because survival is threatened. There is no distinction. The turning point. The war did not turn on a grand offensive. It turned on exhaustion. The Vorthek had never faced an enemy that refused to collapse. Their calculations assumed rational disengagement. Humans never disengaged. They attacked supply nodes relentlessly. They harassed flanks. They launched operations with minimal odds and followed through anyway. Eventually, the Vorthek began making mistakes. That was enough. Victory, human style. When the Vorthek retreated, humans did not pursue for glory. They secured evacuation corridors, recovered wounded, enemy and ally alike. They stayed behind until the last coalition ship was gone. I asked the human commander why. His answer was simple. Because if we leave someone behind, the war never really ends. After the war, the Seraph Expanse was saved. The Concord praised cooperation and unity. Quietly, strategic doctrines were rewritten. Humanity was reclassified. No longer auxiliary species. No longer emergent power. A new designation was added. Existential deterrent. What I tell new observers now. When young observers ask me why the stars fear humans, I don't speak of their weapons. I tell them this. Humans remember. Humans endure. Humans do not stop simply because stopping would make sense. And when humans decide a line must be held, it will be, no matter the cost, the final truth. Seeing humans go to war taught me something no archive ever could. The most dangerous species is not the strongest, the smartest, or the most advanced. It is the one that refuses to give up. The stars dread humanity not because we are cruel, but because when extinction comes knocking, humans answer it, and they don't back away.